Republicans kicked off the national convention this morning in Charlotte, North Carolina and Washington, D.C.
And like the Democrats last week, the GOP has revamped the convention to keep people safe during the pandemic. CBS News Skyler Henry is live in our nation's capital with a preview of what's ahead this week. Skyler, good morning.
Hey, DeMarco, Suzanne, good morning to you. Well, members of the GOP formally nominated President Trump as well as Vice President Mike Pence as the president and vice president of the Republican Party here. Now, the president popped down to North Carolina this morning in a surprise visit, so to speak, saying that he felt obligated to be in the state after the Democratic governor posed strict COVID restrictions in the state, obviously limiting the movement in the area. Now we'll see what happens tonight in this new Republican National Convention in the era of COVID-19.
President Trump made a surprise visit to the Republican National Convention after securing the votes for his renomination.
We have to win. This is the most important election in the history of our country.
The president once again railed against mail-in voting, which states are expanding ahead of the election.
It's not fair and it's not right and it's not going to be possible to tabulate, in my opinion. It's just my opinion.
Republicans opened their four-day national convention in Charlotte this morning, with the coronavirus pandemic limiting travel and activities. A maximum of 336 delegates are allowed on site, with the vast majority participating virtually.
I would submit to this convention that no president has done more for the American people in his first 4 years than President Donald J. Trump.
While the GOP convention gets underway, the Trump administration announced presidential counselor Kellyanne Conway, who is set to speak at the convention, is stepping down at the end of this month to focus on her family.
Conway was a campaign manager before transitioning to the White House. Her husband, George Conway, is also stepping down from his role with the anti-Trump Republican group, the Lincoln Project.
Kellyanne's going to be missed. America loves her. We certainly will miss her here at the White House.
Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley will speak to delegates tonight. So will Mark and Patricia McCloskey, the Missouri couple who waved guns at protesters outside their mansion in June. President Trump is expected to appear every night, culminating with his acceptance speech on Thursday from the White House.
Now, according to our latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll, President Trump has a lot of work to do, DeMarco and Suzanne, as it pertains to catching up in this race. Nationally, he is behind former Vice President Joe Biden by about 10%, so it's important that the Republicans get their message out and get a strong message out if they want to gain some ground before November.
Skyler, what safety precautions are being taken for attendees in Charlotte?
Well, hey, Suzanne, so what we know is that anyone who attends this convention, they had to not only test negative for COVID prior to them actually getting to North Carolina, but thanks to some community health partners as well, they were tested again for the coronavirus as soon as they got to Charlotte and, of course, before they got to the convention in and of itself.
All right, a different story from what happened in Tulsa. Skyler, thank you very much. And as the Republican National Convention kicks off tonight, a CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Joe Biden maintaining a 10-point lead among likely voters nationwide. The poll also finds Biden gained support following last week's Democratic National Convention.